Namaskar, welcome to all. Myself Rajiv Patole, Special Officer for Science, Bal Bharati, Pune. Today we are gathered here for a training program 2016 related to 6th standard general science textbook. First we will see the slide related to general science textbook, and this textbook is related with NCF 2005, RTE 2009, SCF 2010 and Primary Education Curriculum by State 2012. To make the curriculum frame, we consider different things. This curriculum frame is mainly based on the guiding principles of NCF, constructivism, the skill development, then thematic approach, objectives of the curriculum, then child friendly education, and last the evaluation means CCE. The content of the textbook is basically keep in mind the age of student, their mental and intellectual requirements, the previous knowledge of the child was always given the importance, so that's why this textbook become more easy. The frame of the textbook. As per the curriculum frame, when we decided to frame a textbook, we considered 7 core themes of the NCF 2005, SCF 2010 and mainly the core themes which are given in curriculum of primary education 2012, and as per these themes total 16 lessons are included in our textbook. Here one thing is very important, that systematic arrangement of the content and correlative approach in science is very important in this textbook. The speciality of these textbooks is a competency statements which are given in the preliminary pages. The whole textbook is activity based, the activity which is very helpful for learning, then content related to daily life of the students, and last the social awareness, responsibilities and other things are also considered for this textbook frame. The main themes which we mentioned in the curriculum are as follows: natural resources and disaster management, second living world, third substances, fourth food and nutrition, fifth motion, force and machines, sixth theme is energy, and the last theme is the universe. And as per these themes, the total 16 lessons are distributed in textbook. Mainly today our training module is as follows. In first part we go for curriculum and textbook introduction, then what is the role of science at standard 6th, then general science curriculum objectives, constructivism and textbook, fifth competency statement, sixth internal characteristics of the textbook, seventh year plan, and last evaluation. According to this, the training session will be carried forward. Thank you.
Welcome my fellow teachers. I am happy to introduce our committee. Myself, Dr. Chandrasekhar Murumkar, Principal of the TC College Baramati and the Chairman of Science Committee for preparing the textbook for 6th standard of the subject General Science. I'm happy that we are aware that still so far, from third to fifth standard, our students have learned a subject related to science and which was known as the study of the environment. Well, when the student has approached his surrounding, he has enjoyed what was present around him or her, and also it has raised the curiosity. But henceforth, from the sixth standard onwards, when we are preparing the syllabi for the science subject, there is a goal in our mind which has been designed by NCF as well as the committee which has worked at the state level. And we have decided to frame the whole syllabi of science from 6th standard to 10th standard. Yes, we are thinking that at the end, when the student will pass in the 10th standard, he must have got acquired a particular eligibility at the national level. And so, the curricula which is available at the 10th standard all over India will be our base for these students. Accordingly, we are framing the syllabi of the science from 6th standard onwards, and we will be raising the potential of the students to equate at national level, because a lot of opportunities are available for the students and a lot of expectations are also there for the students after 10th standard. Coming back to 6th standard, let me tell you one thing. Still so far, when the student was learning about the environmental sciences, he was getting the information, he was getting the knowledge, what was present around him or her, and accordingly, he was preparing his basis of understanding. Now, from 6th standard onwards, we are changing this approach. Here, the normal teaching learning process is not expected. On the contrary, what we are expecting, that a student should go for a self-learning process. This is something, a very simple aspect of understanding, because it is based on the knowledge. The self-construction of the knowledge is more persistent and sustainable in the days to come. Still so far, we have seen that many students or general group of students, they generally go for recitation of what is present in the text and they want to present it at the time of examinations. The whole frame which we have devised for the 6th standard is that initially we have prepared the syllabus of the 6th standard. The syllabus is the benchmark of what the student is supposed to do, what the student is supposed to learn, and what the student is supposed to understand, which will form a basis of the science subject as such. Deliberately, we have taken into account the age of the student, we have taken into account the social status of the student, and also we have taken into account the environment and the scenario where from the student is coming. And so, if you open up this book and see, you will realize that any student, either it may be from any village or any tribal area, or the student may be learning from the cities and metropolitan cities, there is always a something of his interest, something of his knowledge which is present in this paper. Well, after completing the syllabi, we have prepared the text. Obviously, it was a difficult task to prepare the text, but I'm sure that with the help of you people, with the help of you teachers, this committee is expecting the best from the students. Well, we have given the basis that the student should have of a self-attaining approach toward the science subject. Still so far, we were teaching the students and the students were learning. Now, this approach is changed. What we expect that the students should go for a self-learning process. And because of that, for every lesson, you will find that we are reminding something of what is present in the memory of the student. Yes, observe, remember, tell us. These are the questions we have asked so that the student can give answers for these questions, and taking a tone and taking a string of this, we are going ahead, and obviously we are leading ahead to the student for this particular subject. Well, there is one more important thing, is that a teacher in the classroom and also the teacher which is not present in the classroom, he should treat each and every student that the student should come forward to ask the questions and also to answer every curiosity which is raised in his mind. I am interested that every student should think of this subject, think of these aspects, not only in the class, but also when the student is not present in the class. If we consider the whole pattern of 6th standard of about 350 days, the student should also remember the subject. He should raise the curiosity of this subject even when he is not there in the class. So remaining 180 days also will be the days for his observation, days for his gaining the knowledge. And this is forming a backbone of understanding the science subject. We are going ahead with lot of observations. We are going ahead with lot of seeing the things, observing the things, and apart from them, getting the knowledge through his observations. I have decided through my committee that any question which is asked in the class, it should be given answer by each and every student. And when the student is answering these questions, the teacher should take care that every answer which comes up, it should not be rejected outrightly, because the student is having his own mindset, and with this mindset the student is giving an answer. Obviously, the teacher should lead the student towards the appropriate logical answer for that particular question. And because of that, in order to make this particular subject more interesting, in order to make this subject more easy and simple, and also as we want to remove the fear of this subject in the minds of the students, we have made this subject more simple, more elaborative, and with the flow, so that with the simple observations of the students, we are carrying forward this subject towards the next standard. Well, this is a sort of a knowledge-based approach which we have designed to go for science subject. Well, when we are discussing all these issues and when we are discussing the role of the students, there is one more important thing which a teacher has to play, and that is each and every topic which we have selected has been finalized, has been underlined with the simple projects the student is supposed to undertake during his tenure. These small projects are definitely going to help the student to gain more and more knowledge, to gain more and more comparative account, and also to have a attitude for making the things differentiating from each other. This particular approach will make the student talkative, because still so far when we are teaching in the class, the students are always silent. The students go back with their notebooks and they ask the questions which have been asked by the teacher to their parents, and the parents try to answer this. I want to cut this particular malpractice. You definitely can change this attitude by simply making the student as a teacher. Let the student see the things, let the student do the experiments, let the student observe the things, and let him draw the conclusions. These conclusions will be definitely exploring what he has learned still so far. Obviously, when the student will be coming out with some answers, the teacher can go ahead and take the hand of the student and giving him an appropriate approach to lead further for the scientific temperament. Obviously, to make the science subject more simple, more easy, and more enjoyable, we have decided that we should not make this particular subject more complicated by adding the definite scientific definitions, by adding the mathematical formulations. Yes, these are very important in the science, but yes, by considering the age of the student, we can learn this, or the student can learn these aspects in a more precise manner in coming days further. It is not necessary that he should learn all these things in one glance at a time. Well, still so far, the student was learning something about the environment, and now we are taking the student to learn in a scientific way towards the approach of how the science has to be learned. And because of that, we have taken this attitude that the knowledge-based approach, which will be more helpful in coming days for the students. Well, what we are expecting from the student should be aware of his social environment. That's first thing. Secondly, he should be aware about what are the problems which have been raised in the society. That's second. And also, the student should be aware that what can be the solutions for this. I know that during the scientific temperament, it is not that simple. But yes, I want these innocent minds to think of the problems which we are facing now and let them come out with the solutions, so that in coming days, these students, they can come out with some innovative answers which can definitely going to help out to resolve our problems what we are facing today. There is one more approach, that the student should have a particular scientific attitude regarding what is happening around it. One thing I am very sure about, that you are also will be agreeing with me, that many of the students fear of darkness. Now, there are no answers for this, because it may diminish with the age, and that is our concept, but it is not so. But in the chapter of light, when the student can understand what is the difference between the light and what is the difference between the shadow, definitely we can remove this fear from his mind. In a simple way, we can have an approach regarding such a social attitudes, social difficulties, and social problems which are present around us. In this book, you will find that we are taking to the student to go ahead and read more and more other books which will be relevant, other media agencies to get information, and even we have given him some clues so that he can use the internet also. So definitely all these digital medias, they are not so much damaging to our society, but we can take an advantage of this. Obviously, a great burden of responsibility comes on the shoulders of you teachers also, because you people are supposed to lead the student towards getting a precise understanding, getting a logical understanding, and getting a logical approach of what is he seeing, what he is observing, and what he is calculating. All these aspects are equally important. And that's why, dear friends, I feel that not only the students, they should have the scientific attitude and approach, but you people also should have a scientific temperament within yourself. If at all you are having the solutions, if at all you are having the innovative ideas, if at all you are having the innovative attitude within yourself, you can make this subject more better, more challenging, and more responsible. This is very possible because this book is not a bound-ended book, but it is an open-ended book, or you can say that it is an open-faced book. Yes, in the books we have tried to give you some examples. These examples definitely they are coming from rural section. The examples are coming from the urban section, and the examples are coming from the metropolitan sections also. But there is a scope for you teachers that you can introduce the examples which are present around you. So obviously there is a lot of scope for elaborating the subject as per your choice, as per your freedom, and as per your attitude and demand. Dear friends, yourself and our committee, together we are going to make a future of these students. And this is only possible when we change not only the memory, enriching the memory of the student, but we are going to enrich the attitude of the student. When the student enters into the class, he should always come with new questions. He should always come with the new curiosities which are raised in his mind. And because of that, when we are dealing with so many lessons in this particular textbook, we have seen that the student should get aware of all the aspects of social approach which are present around him. So obviously the aspects of adulteration, the aspects of biodiversity, the aspects of food, healthy food, the food chain, the aspects of what is the use of noise pollution, and obviously the fear of darkness, and likewise. So many aspects, they are concerned, they are discussed, and they are approached. This particular approach in this particular science book